Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. So we're starting to work through step 4 out of 6 in the Welch Steps order of operations. So the first 3 we worked through was the mindset shift, then we got into the cash flow mastery, and then we got into the asset protection. Step 4 is broken down into the working years, and step 5 is the retiree years, finishing it out with estate planning in step 6. And so you're probably thinking, this is only 6 steps, that there's a lot more to it. And you're right. There's a lot of mini subtopics or smaller areas within each of these topic areas. But you, as a consumer, what you're trying to do is put together a easy to follow, systemized plan, and you know where to go whenever you need to change each of the subtopic areas for your situation. So what it looks like for a retiree may be completely different than someone that's in their working years that just graduated college and they're looking for employer benefits and how to do all that stuff. Those are subtopics. What we're trying to do is develop your thinking to where, at 25 you've put this plan in place, but now at 35 life changed, you had kids, you got 3 kids, you're married, you got the big family house. We got to figure out, what do you need to do now to work towards for the next 5, 10, 15, 25 years of your life. And so what we're doing here is we're going to put together a couple of easy to follow accumulation strategies in the next couple of videos. And ideally, you got to put together a plan for your specific situation. So whether you're working with a financial advisor or a mortgage professional or an insurance professional or some type of real estate agent, there's a lot of areas that you as the consumer don't need to outsource the learning of the strategy. You need to know where they're making money at, and is there a way that you can reduce your out-of-pocket expenses. So for this episode, we're just introducing the working years step. Some individuals, they might be super risky and they don't have any children, any spouse at all, and they're like, you know what, I'm just going to build some houses. I'm going to build 20 single-family houses over the next 20 years, and at the end of the 20 years, I'm going to see how much they're worth, and if I've got $2, $3, $4 million in equity, then I'm going to cash it out, and then I will protect that money, and so you have won the game. Now, other folks may decide they want to go down the path of working for an employer. And there's nothing wrong with that. We've got our decisions that we have to make. We just have to figure out which path to financial independence do we want to try to pursue. And the problem is we get divided. The name of my book is Divided Money. And so how did I come up with that name? There's a couple different reasons behind it, but ultimately it's whenever we lose focus on what we need to do and the steps that we need to achieve, then it's harder to get caught back up. And so if we can figure out what is your singular focus, whether you're a family, you've got a goal specifically that your family wants to achieve financially, whether that is paying for college, whether it's saving for retirement, maybe it's figuring out what to do with an inheritance. Your risk tolerance is completely different than Jack B. Quick down the street. So once we figure that out, we got to figure out, are you more inclined to save up $100,000, $200,000 and then, not put it in the market because you're risk averse and you're completely happy with 5% in a CD? There's nothing wrong with that. And I think what happens whenever we listen to podcasts and educational videos and YouTube videos, and we listen to what our friend down the street's doing, and we read these books, these are all just opinions. They're all just opinions, and that's just mine included. I'm just trying to put together a well-rounded strategy, a well-rounded opinion that you can come in and listen to it, take it into consideration, and then figure out, is it something that you need to implement yourself? So when you're working, you got to figure out, are you just going to contribute to a 401k and put the max in for the next 30 years, and whatever you got, you got. There's nothing wrong with that. But for other individuals that want to pursue a different path to financial independence, you got to figure out, am I taking a little bit more risk? And that's completely, I can't tell you how much risk to take. That's on you. But you need to know what the rate of return is for markets. If you were to put money into the stock market, so you would know what ideally the market has returned over the last 30 years, or vice versa. If you're a business owner, how much money can you put and invest in your business and get a 20, 30, 40, 50% profit margin? Because it may make more sense to invest in your business than invest in the stock market. And vice versa, someone that knows a lot about building new construction and real estate, they might say, you know what, I'm just going to build houses the next 20 years. And there's nothing wrong with that. And for individuals that may be on the lower income scale to where they don't have enough margin in their monthly budget to fund a retirement account or fund, $2 million worth of contributions over the next 30 years, that is a reality. So for those individuals, we got to figure out, how can we still get you to financial independence? It might be harder, but is it possible? And the answer to that question is yes. We could do stuff like house hacking, to where you buy a house, you save up $20,000, $30,000, buy the house, and then rent out the other 2 rooms. You need to know what the rule of 72 is. So how long it takes for your money to compound at X percentage rate, or tax planning. And that gets into what accounts you need to put in, or that you need to set up as a business owner, because you've got, extra couple $100,000 left over after you've paid your expenses, but you need to lower your tax burden. Well, there's so many different things out there. You can do Section 179 deductions, or figuring out how to pay your children out of the business. There's a lot of different opportunities. And so the biggest thing is developing your strategy for your situation, and then trying to automate as much of it as possible so that you can keep your hands off of it, because ultimately we are our biggest enemy. We are the biggest hurdle to getting financially ahead, and it's ourselves. Once we understand how the financial system is set up, how economics play, what markets return, we can figure out what you need to do for your situation. So if you're a do-it-yourselfer, you got to figure it out on your own. If you want to watch these educational videos, you're going to learn quite a bit. But that's it for this episode. And this is the start of the working years step in the Wealth Steps order of operations. And I'll see you in the next one.